G'day everyone, and welcome to How to Start a LANFest Chapter. My name is Chris Grassel. I also go by MagicalZorse. I'm based out of Austin, Texas. Uh, Currently on the LANFest board, involved in LANFest since 2013. It has been a while. Um, so I'm excited to welcome you guys all here. We've got some amazing people here with us. Take it away, boys.
My name's Gary Briggs. Been around LANFest since before it had the name LANFest. One of the founders. I did count it up. I've been a part of over 100 LAN parties. When I got to 100, I stopped in helping in various different things. So that's probably a whole lot to be a part of. They all blend together. But excited to be here talking about how to start up a LAN party because there's never enough of them, and we want to have a bunch of gamers having fun with us.
Hi, I'm Nathan Johnson, or ForceRun. I'm part of the LANFest Sacramento chapter, but also a board member. We're all board members here. But we're excited to be with you all at Landfall and talk to you about what it is to start a new chapter. All of us have, for grassroots, set up organizations and events, but more importantly, we've gotten together with our friends and gamed. And I've been doing that ever since I was in high school and learned about something called Counter-Strike. That it was a little mod for Half-Life at the time. And that got me so excited. We had one team on the downstairs and the other team on the upstairs, and we only had like 3 or 4 working computers between us, and they were old family Dells or whatever. And that got me hooked. And so I've been gaming ever since, and I love to get people together and share that passion with them. And I'm glad to enable and empower you to get with your friends or with a greater community and get your game on.
Awesome. So I'm excited to talk about LANFest, and I am looking forward to my weekend of gaming at Landfall. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, for those who aren't familiar with LANFest, let's talk about what a chapter actually is.
So a chapter is what we defined it as a community group. And it's very important that we have a safe place that we can go together that's family friendly and we can just be ourselves. We can game or geek out on hardware or just talk about the latest things that interest us and get us excited as geeks, nerds, people that just love to play around with hardware and work with people online. So there's a lot of groups out there. Historically, a lot of our chapters have been small groups of friends that have been getting together at people's houses and gaming for a long time. And they decided to include more people into that, and they created LAN parties. And we
Yeah,
connected them together.
some of them are those groups of small groups of people across in the same area getting together, joining forces to make an even bigger LAN party. It's like 4 or 5 house LANs getting together to make a LAN at a community center or something.
Or a
Yeah.
single house LAN
Yep.
that just slowly grows.
Yes.
Slowly grows and just takes over the world. LANFest is really built on that cooperation of gamers working together, either small groups coming together to form an event or a bunch of different events coming together to help the events grow and mature, and best known methods shared between those. So that's what LANFest is all about, and doing it for charity. And we want to connect with you if you're excited, if you've gone to a LAN or participated in one of our online events and want to be involved. One of the ways that you can get involved is get your own community group or found a community group and get them going and creating a LAN.
Yeah, and especially in this day and age, that can be an online gaming community as well. So as long as you've got a group of gamers wanting to have fun together, we can make an event.
Awesome. So for those out there who don't have a LANFest chapter near them, or not really been involved with a chapter, or just haven't been involved in a LAN recently, how do they start up a LANFest chapter? How does someone start a LANFest?
So the first step is simply going to lanfest.com/events, and we have a form on there. Fill that out. It's a very short, easy form, and basically has your contact information. And then our team will reach out to you. So there's several different things that we can do with you. And part of that is just understanding who we are, what you're excited about, what your interests are. Did we want to talk a little bit more about building community and those talking points?
Yeah. So, like,
okay.
why
Let's
are they
backtrack to
starting
that
a
then.
chapter is the other big important thing, right? Like,
Well,
why would we do that?
a lot of the chapters that want to, want to grow more from out of the house land, or even have grown out of the house land, but want to level up what they're doing. LANFest is a perfect place to share experience and resources with a bunch of other lands that have done that. So there's knowledge within this community. There's resources within this community. Whether it's networking gear or marketing resources, or help with broadcasts, or anything that can make a LAN party better. We've got that with all the different chapters that have come up. Everybody is an expert at something. So that, to me, that's one of the reasons to join with LANFest, to start a chapter, is we can help each other grow.
Awesome.
So I think the key for me is community. I was all excited to spend a weekend gaming and just geeking out. But once we started asking our attendees what they enjoyed, what was their favorite moment from our events, and they all said it was community. So it was getting together with people that they played with online, but that was a gathering point for them in community. And I've noticed that's a theme. A lot of our chapters think they're very unique and special, and we celebrate that uniqueness, our different events. But most of them have that same flavor. They're based on their community. The sole focus is getting that community together and gaming. And I think that's a wonderful thing that LANFest offers. And is if you're that same-minded person where you want to get a community and have a place for communities to get together that enjoy gaming and building hardware and stuff, it's a great time to do the work to provide that place, to create that safe spot and set things up so that people can get together and have that fun event together.
Yeah, you're talking about the that lands all think they're different, and they all end up being the same in a lot of ways. I've gone to Australia. I've gamed with people in Sweden and Germany, and once the gaming starts, it feels so familiar. Even when there's an accent, I feel like I'm at my homeland. It's the the same sort of atmosphere, the same sort of games being played, the same sort of I guess jokes about games happening. Each LAN is different. There are lots of little things, but at the core, there's so much similarity that the gaming communities really share a very common culture. So it's great to see the diversity and to enjoy the different groups, and the more we can get all of them, more gamers together, the more fun everybody will have in that shared community.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a
And
very open and inclusive. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of the things that I've noticed is like people walk out of these making like lifelong friends. Like I know that a lot of my social group now, especially now that being isolated due to COVID, is the people I've met during LAN parties. It's a great community, and also like the, my entire career that I currently have spawned from this, spawned from LANFest doing stuff like that. You meet the most amazing people, people in this call included. And
Aw, thanks.
I was talking about Nathan.
Oh.
I guess Chris doesn't want to play with Legos.
What do you mean? You can't see it, but I have a Star Destroyer on a table back there. I'd stand up and bring it over.
It's behind
but
all the
huge
computers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's behind all the computers in the server rack. But
Yeah,
it
after
really
COVID, we
is.
need to bring a lot more Legos into LAN parties. That definitely needs to happen.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think like a great idea for a group is just like speed build Legos as like a competition.
That's it. That and that's
No,
the
that
type
works.
of thing that would work as an activity at a LAN party, or whether it's I'm thinking about doing that at one of the upcoming online ones. It's just like everybody with the camera, go.
Build some Legos.
Yeah,
And
but
that's the cool
I
thing.
mean, yeah, and whether it's that activity or another activity, in game, that's the type of things that happen at LAN parties that people really enjoy. The fun off the wall things that we just come up with and share together and have a great time, which is really
Mhm.
needed this with COVID here. So
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing is that you get to be that kind of pillar that you're bringing in, say, the next generation. So at our recent hybrid event, LAN All Night, it was in Dallas, Texas, a couple weeks ago. Time is an illusion with COVID. Um, we did a PC build. Basically, it was designed where we worked with our amazing partners and sponsors to be able to do a PC build, get all the parts for insanely cheap. Um, so we could basically have people learn how to build a PC. And one of the kids came in, he didn't know, but his uncle had bought him the PC build ticket. So he walks into the LAN, his uncle walks him over and be like, hey, sit down, you're building a PC. And the kid's just like, honestly, he was just frozen. Um, and that was the coolest thing. And like that level of what we can do as building those communities, not just um, hanging out and playing games with friends, but also we are given the opportunity with these groups to kind of change
Mhm.
lives. Um, and I think that's the coolest thing. Like that kid, he'd played some video games, but he now knows how to build a. So there's that community is built on not just having fun together, but it's also learning. Like go to any LAN party and go over to the what we call the NOC, which is the network area, and say something about a switch or something, and watch all of the network guys. Their heads pop up. I love doing the drive-bys, which is what's better, Juniper or Cisco, and watch them all get into a deep argument. But
But you
that's
see a
sort of
little
like
kid walk past there, he sees all the flashing lights, and he's like, oh, this is how all the computers connect together, and he starts getting interested in it. We do our events at the Intel venue in the past, and just going into a big building that's all dedicated to designing and building computer chips and motherboards, it really opens their ideas. So not only do they get to go to something that they learn they enjoy as a young kid, of course they're going to love games, but also they start to work around. And there's multiple people that found jobs and technologies based off their experiences in LANFest. So it can be a good
definitely.
way to get them down a positive path. They find a good community that they're excited about and helps them out. It's a passion with gaming, but it also leads them to unlock that part of them that makes them unique and maybe a little different from the other kids at school, but it gets them with a community that understands them and can help nurture that and guide them along paths that will be very beneficial to them in a future career, and they can give back to the community. And
yeah,
giving back to the community is also a huge thing with LANFest.
Yeah. Um, there is so much we can do, and it's just like the most amazing thing to see. Like especially like with some of our lands that have been running for a long time. You see the originally the kid who came in, and now they're like because of what they've seen at Landfest, they've their whole life is inspired to work in an engineering field or a computer science or do something
yeah.
like that. There's
I
so
I
much we can do.
I have there's people that go to our LAN parties that came in as kids that are now IT managers or design engineers or broadcast professionals, usually related to gaming. So it definitely spans the all kinds of different tech fields. And a lot of they'll all point back to, well, I got my interest coming to gaming events, and I came to play, pick whatever game it was, Minecraft or whatever, and now it's a a job for them, a career for them, and they're still gaming and having fun.
You brought your
But
kids to LANFest, right, Gary? Well, back in
I
the
did.
day.
I did. I think my youngest was 4. When she came to the lands, and she'd have some fun sitting on my lap, gaming, and she's a pretty good gamer now.
Yeah, raise up the next generation, right? But the other aspect of it is LANFest, besides being community focused and community run, is about helping the local community or the greater community of humans, because we all our events are based on charity. So I know that a lot of us probably got into it more for the gaming aspect, but we stayed and we put so much time and energy into it because we do so much good for charity. So giving out to Make-A-Wish or Children's Miracle Network or the local food bank or the Veterans Association, there's so many charities that have been profoundly affected by these events. And it's a very simple model. We run the event, and then what's left after the cost, which some of our venues are very, very cheap and has worked out very well, we're able to raise and give that money to charity. And so that's how we run our events. So if you're looking to more of the passionate and do something good with your skill or your interest or your passion, doing a fundraiser for charity has a huge beneficial effect.
Yeah. I like the fact that the charities chosen are whatever the local group wants to give it to. Often that's a local charity that means something to them, and we've had given to food banks that helped some of our staff members when they had the need for food as things happened in their life. We have given to fallen firefighters and police, and those were chosen because that related to the lives and connections of the staff and attendees of those events. So there's often a very personal connection for why charities are chosen by a local chapter. But that's I think the beauty of it is that local chapter chooses where they want to give and in what area and how they're going to do that, usually with a local connection.
Yeah, like the Colorado one with the firefighters. That was amazing. We also had the Gleam thing that was set up. You did a whole bunch of activities with the possibility of win, but one of the things they added on there was write it was like a nice note to the firefighters, because up in Colorado, a lot of those people owe their lives, their houses, everything to those wonderful beings who pulled the fires up there. And we ended up with, I don't know, it was in like 40 or 50 like beautiful notes that we ending up sending to the firefighters, which was just warmed my heart how amazing our community can be.
Yeah.
And that's what really drives the biggest core premise of LANFest, which is the passion, right? Like, we like games, we're building a community, but we're also passionate about helping charity. Um, as a nonprofit ourselves, we focus on that, and I think that's so cool. Lan All Night got what was it, Gary? It was like 300 like pieces of food to give to the food bank on top of the money raised from
The money
the group.
donation, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know exactly how much it was, but I know I spent a long time packaging it up and getting it into the U-Haul. So it was a lot, which was all good.
Yeah. No, the LANFest is a charity, and it's there to empower gaming communities that want to be a fundraiser for charities. And it allows you to do a lot of that charitable work and efforts and that fundraising without having to do a lot of the legal and the groundwork and the tough work to cross all your T's and I's so that you can run that event. You can empower your gamers, the ones that are just showing up to play Minecraft or to play the latest shooter, to be charitable, and it helps them understand, hey, I got to play for a fun weekend, but I also did something good in my area, and that's an important thing for us as people.
It's a double whammy. You get to have fun
Mhm.
and do something also. Like,
Yeah.
where's the downside, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's great about LANFest. We started as that tiny little LAN group. Gary, yeah, based out of the what was it, the like cafeteria at Intel, and we grew to that point that we're a big enough organization that we have the framework in place so groups can come in, start a chapter, and they don't have to worry about all of that, stuff. We're a full 501c3, the whole 9 yards. I think that's
Yep.
just like that's what LANFest is. It's a collection of groups kind of built together for the common good, right?
Yeah, so each group can spend more time focusing on having fun in their community, and we can work together to streamline all the other things that are needed.
Yeah, even right here in this call, we have Texas represented and kind of Australia. Was it Oregon now, Gary? And I'm in California, so very different and
I'm in
unique
Washington,
gaming
but I was in
communities.
Oregon, so.
Washington, okay, yeah, Washington. So these are 3 gaming communities that have come together and that are helping just to put this panel together.
Yeah, I think right now LANFest currently has 19 chapters. I know that after this, if I got that wrong, someone's going to throw something at me. It's probably going to be Katie. But we're also working on like getting some international groups involved. Like that's the big thing is like the size of LANFest is really what helps us do what we do. We have the individual chapters, then we have a built together national team, which is really awesome to help support all that. And we bring on more and more chapters. Not only does that create a wider network of, different knowledges and stuff like that, it's just like amazing to sit down with someone in Germany or England or Sweden and talk about like what they're passionate about and the shared experiences and their charities versus our charities, and we're all just working together for the common good. It's so awesome. So, how do we feel about that? Do we feel like we've covered why to start a LANFest chapter, or is there anything you guys want to add?
Well, I think we should dive into the how now.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
The last thing I want to say about why is because it's fun.
Mhm.
It's just a lot of fun.
It's a lot of
It
fun.
really is. Like, we're
Don't get us wrong,
no
it's
one's
work. It's work, but it's
it's
fun.
work,
It's fun work.
but it comes down to we're all volunteers, right? So like it's got to be you got to get something out of it to do it, and we can like we're not going to give you the full sales pitch here. We'll give you the full sales pitch if we try to become a LANFest chapter. But like Gary, how long have you been doing
My first LAN party was in the 90s somewhere, so.
this? So possibly 25, 30 years. I know I've been doing it for about 7 with LANFest, and I've been doing LANs back until like the early 2000s with my own house LAN. How about you, Nathan?
13 years with LANFest, same thing. I was playing
13 years.
N64 with the neighborhood. It's like let's see how many controllers we can get on here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to make sure we added too. It's about all types of gaming. It could be consoles, it could be PCs, it could be tabletop games. We definitely
On
have a
mobile.
full mix. It could be even mobile games. We've got a full mix at our events. So
Oh, we also got
definitely.
VR.
Oh yes, we even
VR is
have
coming in,
definitely have VR. Yeah.
which is hilarious to
So,
see at a LAN party, somebody bumping around and not being able to see everybody else around them.
but to talk about why I brought up how long we've been doing this is there's got to be a reason other than possibly we're insane that we've stuck around and done this for so long, right? Like it is work. Like building a LAN is a good amount of work and can get very stressful, but it's amazing. And those talking points that we went through, the community, the enjoying the gaming, the hardware, all of that, doing the great things for charity, it's what makes it. It is probably, for at least for me, one of the most worthwhile things I do in my day. But anything to add before we move on to how to be a chapter?
Oh, you know us. We can go on forever. So let's just go ahead and go on.
We are very long-winded. All right. So we've talked about what a LANFest chapter is. We've talked about why, and hopefully we gave a good sales pitch that you're now really excited. So we're talking about how, and I know I started to jump the gun earlier, but we're gonna do the how for real this time. So let's talk about how. Well, the first step, landfest.com/event. It's on the screen below, somewhere down there.
You got it.
I should have never attempted to do that on the stream, but whatever. And then there's an apply
We
to
got
start a
some new
chapter.
memes coming up.
But there's an apply to start a chapter button. You fill out the form. It's pretty straightforward. What that does is it sends basically a notification to our team that kind of works with starting new chapters, and they'll get in touch, and it's really exciting. So they'll work through the process. They're going to get in contact with you. And the other thing is to be aware of is because of what we have as LANFest, we've talked about how big it is. We're going to assist you through the process. It's not going to be, oh, you want to start a LAN party? Okay. Well, what sort of network protocol are you going to use? What's your venue immediately? What's your budget like to the T? Are you going to spend $12.50 on popcorn? None of that's really what we're looking at. We want to work you through the process. We have people who have run LAN parties for Gary. I'm sorry to pick on you for almost 30 years. So, hopefully, we've learned a thing or two doing it that long. That knowledge is something we want to share. We're not the sort of people who are like, "Oh no, you'll steal our industry secrets." Honestly, the more people doing this, the better. Is basically the LANFest kind of thought process for this for as long as I've been involved, and I'm sure
Yeah.
that goes for even the longer people.
So a
So
group of people with the desire is the only first step that you have to have before contacting us. You know, we can help with everything else. And
Mhm.
so, if you've got a handful of people that really want to make this happen, get a hold of us. We might even know another handful of people in your area or your community, your wider
Interest group.
community that wants to do interest group, whatever it is that wants to do something similar, and we can put those together and find out you've got a guy who knows the network or a gal who knows the network stuff, but you need help with tournaments, and we can pair you up with some people that can help with that area. Questions about power, whatever it is, we can help.
yeah,
How to set your Discord up and do stuff online, and what bots go into that, and stuff like that. We can help with every single piece of that because
So definitely
there's
the
a
first
bunch of
step.
people
Mhm.
somewhere. Yeah.
The first step is filling out that form. And just to give you a quick idea of what the rest of it is, you express your interest, we get back with you and see where you're at. Then we're going to follow up and we'll probably send you some applications or get you going in some meetings. And then once we have a concrete community group event set up of some sort with you or get you joined to one, then we're going to get you with our national council. And our national council is a group made up of our chapter reps from all our different chapters. And so they're going to look it over, and most likely they say yes, because by the time we get to there, we've already ironed out most of the stuff. And then we're going to say, okay, go have an event and assign you a couple mentors. Some people will work with you, especially for that first event, so you have that extra support and maybe that area that you need. But that's the whole process. It can take a little while, just matter where we're starting from. But I think it would be helpful to kind of deep dive into a little bit of what are some of the different community groups we're looking into. So, Gary, if you want to talk about some of the online options we have right now.
Well, yeah. So because of COVID, a lot of our LAN parties that have been traditionally in person aren't able to meet. So we've been doing a lot of online LAN events, which basically means picking a weekend and getting everybody in the same Discord server, which is where we were organizing in-person events anyways. But we just go another step further and make sure that all of our activities can be can be done online and communicated through the Discord server, or even done in the Discord server. We share screens, we share video so that it feels like we're all together, and we get a schedule of events just like we would have any of our previous events, and we get everybody into those games, oftentimes in the same channel, talking, making fun of each other, whatever it is. And we do a lot of broadcasting of that, so everybody can see what's going on. So there's usually a broadcast schedule, whether that's just simply somebody streaming the game that they're playing, to streaming tournament finals, to doing panels like this. Yeah, WANFall is a online event like we're talking about, and it's a collection of chapters and some other groups that have decided to join with us. There's some we've got VGC, which is high school gamers, a lot of other groups that are participating. So you, especially right now, you don't have to have a physical in-person, geography to go around. It could be a group of gamers that have been a clan for a long time, only playing online. You could be a chapter working with us to have an event, one of these online lands like we've been doing. So it comes to having a community that wants to do gaming together and whatever that is. And yeah, and then we can help with how do you organize that community? How do we organize your Discord server? How do we get people when they join, knowing what's going to go on that weekend, and how to easily get involved in those activities, and how to have a lot more fun sharing what you're doing with that community. So getting that community gaming feel across the world. So that's what it can be online, which is the main thing we're doing right now with COVID. We're looking forward to COVID being gone, and us using a lot of the learnings we had from online events and continuing a bunch of those, but also getting back to in-person events as well. So
So a great way to learn more about these kind of events is join Landfall if you're just browsing through and somehow you got here, or some of the other online events that are coming up. You can check them out at that same link, lanfest.com/events, and join in. Either buy a ticket or don't buy a ticket. Just show up on the Discord and play some games. See how you like it, how you like the feel of it, and it helps people understand a lot better if they participate.
yeah.
And that can get you an idea if this is something that you're interested in.
Yeah, so when COVID's done, we get back to a lot of our local events, and I know one of the things we wanted to talk about is what those local events typically have looked like.
Okay. So in the past, we've partnered up with Intel and some other places that have had venues, or we stole their cafeterias or something for a weekend and we set those up. So definitely having a community group that's established and already has a venue is a plus, and that's going to get you going. You're going to get your event going a lot faster. But LANFest has a lot of resources to help you out with those different aspects. So if we pull up the application, it kind of walks you through some of the different questions, and it's really to assess where you're currently at. So the more you bring to the table, especially as a community group, will jumpstart you on having your first local event with LANFest.
All right, I'll bring
Chris, are you
that
able
up.
to pull that
Yeah.
up here? And we're just going to take a quick
Here.
look through it so that you can kind of understand.
Boom. All right.
Are we still there?
Yeah.
We're back.
Okay, cool. I think our audio cut out. But we were
Yeah.
saying National LANFest can help you out with venues, and we can work with you on that. But the more you bring to the table, the more work you've done. It still takes somebody going and talking to the different venues to set up a local event. That's the first start. And it doesn't have to be a 500-person event from the get-go. It can be, okay, let's find a conference room at the local hotel or fairgrounds or something and get 40 people together, 60 people. That's how most of our events start, is they start small and they start working with it. And our team, most importantly, can help you with that. You just have to have that passion. You have to have 2 or 3 people that have time and energy to set this event up. And really, this application is to help us get that information and to work with you on that. So the other key aspect is staff. So to run a larger event, or even an event with 60 or people, you need some core staff. You need some members, and LANFest can help you out with that by either flying somebody out from a different city or different working with that. But generally, a local event is based on a city or like the northern part of a state or something like that. And so you have LANFest Salt Lake City or something. And so you're going to gather in people that have been running lands in that area, and we're going to connect you together. We're going to have you go out, try to find a venue. We're going to do some calls around nationally so that we can try to get you a venue and get that set up. So honestly, starting maybe as an online event is a good way to get your community growing and building. And then finding that venue is a good start. And it's talking to the business owners, talking to the venues, and seeing if they are willing to work with a nonprofit, a charity, to host a charity event. And that opens a lot of doors, not being a corporate event or being corporate based. Once you get that staff, and it really helps if you're also a group of friends and you're doing fun things off on the side, you're doing some game nights at people's house, so you can build that core group together. You'll start finding the skills and assets you need. And maybe you have everybody except for someone who knows how to do networking. Well, that's easy. We got lots of people that can do that. So that's why we have people help you out and work with that. We have information on how to find good venues, and we've spent a lot of time on venues. So I probably won't go any more into venues. The other hard thing is budgets.
Well, I think we should.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one of the most interesting venues I've seen? I do want to go in a little bit just because there's a wide range of venues that have worked. I mean, the most interesting one is I've seen one that was in a warehouse. It was only a half full warehouse, so we used the other half. We've done Shriners Halls. We've done, like you said, cafeterias.
Armories,
we've done
schools.
Armories, fairgrounds, schools, just about anything that can be used. It doesn't have to be a typical convention center or hotel ballroom, even though some of those work. So
definitely, it's wherever you can get, especially if they're doing it cheap or free. That helps out quite a bit. It makes your event, because it all comes down to the budget and making that work together. So the budget is the components. We're going to ask you try to balance a budget so that the cost of the event is covered by the revenue that the event brings in. LANFest is definitely willing to help out for the first couple events and build that community. But in the long term, we want these to be charity fundraisers. And so they need to generate a little bit of money for charity. And so that takes a little bit of effort as to adjusting your ticket price and finding a venue that's affordable, and maybe scaling down how many lights and special effects and fireworks and other things that you have going on that cost money.
Oh, we need the fireworks.
Yeah.
But that's the onboarding team, is to work with you and help you establish a budget. And the great thing about having a national bank account and different things like that is we can help put down deposits for venues and work with you on those venues. So you're not shelling out your own money to host your first event, and that makes a big difference, and that opens a lot of possibilities. But to do that, it takes a little bit of planning, and it takes some work to work through that budget. So be prepared to understand what a budget is and to work with the team on with the budget. Those really are the key things: staff, venue, and budget. A lot of that information is collected on the application, and we'll work with you to develop that. So once we have a solid venue with a budget, we submit it to the National Council. They say yes, and we move forward and we host our first event together. And it's a fun, wonderful, exciting experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I think we covered basically like all of our talking points here, folks. I think it was pretty good. Is there anything you want to
Mhm.
add before we wrap it up?
Well, I always want to do a call out if maybe you're not the organizer leader type and you just want to help out or be part of LANFest. There are plenty of ways to engage with LANFest, from participating in our events to volunteering online. So I think there's still a volunteer page somewhere on the website. Click on staff or volunteer page, and there's a little easy form, fill out form there, and our crack people team will get a touch of you and find a spot where you can help and volunteer. And most of the volunteer jobs are only 4 to 8 hours a month, so they're very reasonable. But we're of course willing to take you as much as you're willing to offer as far as
Yeah.
pre-volunteer time.
If you're in Antarctica and there doesn't happen to be a chapter there yet, you can still help on the national level, or even help with one of these online lands. So there's always a
Yeah.
Is
spot.
there venues in Antarctica? Is there internet in Antarctica?
There
I'm
is
sure.
really good internet in Antarctica. I think we were looking
Is
at
there?
Steam stats, and there was someone playing from there. Yeah, because they got to upload all the science data.
Ah,
But
so
yeah, there was
science
Steam
during the
stats.
day and lab party at night.
Honestly, if I lived in Antarctica, I don't think I'd want to go outdoors at night with how
Yeah, I don't
cold
think
it
I
could
would
be.
either.
Yeah.
So, video games,
Perfect
you get a big
place.
gaming rig. You don't need a heater, right? Even in Antarctica, you get
Penguin Land.
just you get
Yep.
like 4 2080 Ti's in your PC. That'll heat a Antarctic base, no problem. To
Face
go back
heater or
just a
video
little,
card, one of the two.
yeah, to go back just a little bit. If you go to the LANFest website, on the wonderful thing, there is a join the team button. And
Okay, that's
then
what
you
it's
click
called now.
there. It gives you a list of available positions. Now, the one thing to be aware of, if you go through those and none of them really excite you or you feel like you've hit, still apply. Those are just ones that our team is specifically looking for. Uh, like I think we've got like web designer or broadcast person or
If you got
uh,
passion, we'll put you to work.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that's really what it comes down to. There's one specifically that exists that we're looking for specific talents, but honestly, we'll take whoever. That's the whole
Yeah.
point.
If the only thing you want to do is bake cookies and send it to people, we'll let you do that.
Okay,
Definitely.
Gary's trying to
That's
cheat
even
by
a
like
board
just
task,
getting an
so we need that.
yeah, like Gary just wants cookies sent to him now. Now I want
Yes,
cookies.
please
Thanks,
send
Gary.
me free cookies.
But and the other thing is like if it's something you're passionate about but you don't know much. So like the big thing LandFest is currently working on is we're building up a production. So like we have a number of people who have done a good amount of production, um, and they're willing
This is
to
video and
teach.
streaming, right?
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
what the stream we're on now,
what we're doing
those
now.
sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So production was just one of the many examples. We got networking, we've got talking to sponsors, we've got being a content creator online as a streamer, a video editor, graphic design. We've got the talent for a lot of it. It comes down to if that's something you're passionate about, you want to learn in an environment that you're doing cool stuff as well for charity. This is also the benefit. It's like production was the example because we're doing one right
Oh,
now, right?
it's definitely one that we're growing right now, and it's definitely one that we find more and more interest in. But that has where we can, it's like if that's something you want to get into, it's the perfect place where we've got a mix of people with experience, and we're looking for people with various levels of experience that want to learn more. So we can, and we just need more people because we're doing so many more events online that need broadcast help. So.
And you learn stuff that can level you up for your professional fields. Like I've learned a lot of stuff in my tenure at LANFest that's really helped me out. Like
Yeah.
I was a network engineer, then I started with LANFest, and then crazy network stuff. Without going into technical details, that LANFest does is way beyond what you do. It like the closest equivalent is like what we'd have as a 6 month build in the corporate world. LANFest does in like a day. And that's in the ability and the learning and going with the
Mm-hmm.
crazy guys and gals who do this. You learn so much that like you you gain so many extra skills.
Yeah, a
So
good example of that is my last job was manager. So I applied for manager, and it's like, yeah, I don't have much experience with this company as a manager, but by the way, I ran this big event for 400 people, and it went really well. And these are some of the skills that I showed as part of LANFest, and it got me the job. So having this experience of doing this work is very beneficial to you.
Yeah. I think we've done pretty well on our sales pitch of join LANFest as a chapter, join LANFest as a person, just join LANFest as some form or another. Like, that's
Or
really
just
what it
come
comes
game.
down to. Come game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come
Get
play a long
involved.
Civ game with me.
Oh,
Come play some Total War Warhammer 2 with Chris and I. Come play
don't
some
do
Age
that.
of
Gary's real
Empires.
bad at go to war.
Go to war,
Couldn't
Civ.
help myself.
It doesn't matter.
Wait.
It's about the fun.
Yeah, have Gary basically somehow kill everybody in a single before the like a body's reported or an emergency meeting. Have him just Gary kills everybody in Among Us.
Facts.
Yeah. I don't know how he manages to do that. But that's the sort of thing where the benefit we have is just like we've got an amazing amount of knowledge and a lot of learning opportunities, but we're also an amazing community that you can play whatever. Um, we did like late all night. There was a whole bunch of board game people, and they did the werewolf. Someone's a werewolf, and they the Among Us, but in person. Ooh. Um, we've had people bring consoles at LFG. I remember there was a whole row of people playing FIFA. There's a lot of really cool options. I think our president, I've seen her play solitaire during a LAN. I thought that was really odd, but honestly, we're open to everybody. If you're excited about showing up, having a good time with some new mates or old mates, sorry, Australian, so mates is friends. This is the place to do it. Like you can hang out with some people that you already know, or you can make new lifelong friends that not only are people that you enjoy hanging out with because of shared experience. These are sort of people that are also amazing contacts in the business world. Like I've been offered jobs because like I've been chilling and playing LAN parties with people, and someone we were talking about work, and someone over at XYZ company recommended me because he's like, I like that dude. He should definitely come and work. Like that, there's nothing better. And then on the cherry on top of that cake, basically, or pie or sundae, whatever you want, is you're also doing this for an amazing cause. Like there's no downside to joining LANFest. Well,
And I do
there
want to do a
is.
shout
It's
out
just you keep.
with this COVID time. We've had a lot more time to work on LANFest as an organization, and so we have a lot more tools and a lot more structure and a lot more national team members to help and support you than we've ever had before. So if you have worked with LANFest before, and we have a lot of new people and new ideas and a lot more structure and aids for you than we've ever had in the past. So this is a great time to either jump in or join back up. We can help you with sponsorship, marketing, social media, streaming, if we can get some more streamers, and all these different areas. There's so much that we can do now that just last year we weren't able to do.
Yeah. The only thing is you'll never want to leave, which isn't really a bad thing.
You get the game, but we have your soul.
Yeah, you'll look up and realize, oh, I've been doing this for 30 years. As Gary did at the start of this call. So, guys, I hope we sold you on some stuff. I hope you learn a little bit. We are here at Wanfall this weekend, or if you're watching the VOD later, hopefully there's a LAN coming up that you can get involved in. I'm hopefully we'll see you in the LANFest Discord at some time in the future. Send us messages. Let's play some video games, and that's it. I had a great time here, guys.
Stop chatting. Yeah,
let's get back to gaming.
All right, guys. We'll end it here. Have a wonderful day.